After 5 Radio.
Good morning, my dear.
Good morning.
Oh my gosh, you managed to wake up. You're looking good.
I had to try. I was like, no, I can't let people I had to try.
No, that is awesome. No, it's good to see you. And thank you so much for coming through. Oh my gosh, I know you have a very busy day coming up for you.
Yeah.
But no, that is awesome. So to all our listeners, welcome to Tough Love Giggles on After 5 Radio this Saturday morning. If you're actually based in Zimbabwe, but if you're based out here in North America, good evening. It's still a Friday night. And thank you so much, Vimbai, for making time out of your busy schedule. I know you probably just had 2-3 hours to sleep.
Yeah. Someone had
Sorry, we can hardly hear you. I think you're kind of far from your mic.
Oh,
yes.
Can you hear me
now I can hear you. Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
But thank you so much and welcome on today's show.
Oh, thank you for having me.
No, you're welcome. What's that? Sorry.
I said, so thank you for having me so early in the morning.
So early in the morning, right? We had to. And it's late at night. You see my eyes right now? You have no idea. After this, I haven't rested. That's all I can say. Wow. I know. That's our life. That's you and I's life.
It's like our life.
That's it. And so for those who are actually tuning in right now and have no idea who we're hanging out with today, we have Vimbai Angela Butawo, who's a young Zimbabwean social entrepreneur. And, is it social entrepreneur? Did I get it right?
Yeah.
Okay. And she'll get deeper. She'll elaborate as we get started today. And she's actually one of the energetic, goal-oriented young ladies with a heart of social development, especially focusing on child and youth development, which is why we have her here today. And she is the mother, aka the CEO, baby, of My Africa Child and Youth Development Organization. So let me start by actually congratulating you on the inaugural Zimbabwe Youth Trade Fair and Conference of Macydo. I'm calling it Macydo. I don't know if you call it Macydo already.
Yeah, I'm just going to allow you to do that. I guess now we might just have to call it Macydo.
Thank you. I know done by yours truly.
Okay, yeah, I'll give you props for that one.
Right. So let's just dive right into it because I know you're on a tight schedule as we already know between me and you. So let's begin with keeping our listeners and viewers up to speed with who Vimbai is.
Okay. Interesting.
All right.
I'm Vimbai Butawo from Zimbabwe. 29 years old, founder and CEO of My Africa Child and Youth Development Organization. So basically My Africa Child and Youth Development Organization focuses on grooming young people to become effective leaders and change makers in their communities and in the country as a whole, mainly focusing on the economic leadership side. So we do that through entrepreneurship and innovation training. We also do educational programs as well for high school students. For university and high school students, and partly primary school students as well.
Right.
So, and like you say, we also host conferences for entrepreneurs. And this time we're having our inaugural Zimbabwe Youth Trade Fair and Conference on the 3rd of November with some very amazing captains of industry in Zimbabwe, and we have Vusi Kembekwayo coming to Zimbabwe. We also have the Honorable Vice President, Honorable Kembo Mohadi, as the guest of honor for the conference.
Ooh, guys, peace such a conference. I wasn't jealous. I'm like, oh my gosh, I wish I knew in advance, Then is what I got to make our way to the HICC.
You should
No,
come. There's still time. There's still time. You should come. You can still fly in.
there is, right? I believe there is. I know.
Exactly.
No, that is awesome. So before we get into, like, you've actually given us something you've already loaded us with a lot right now, talking about the event that's coming up. But before we get into the event, mind telling us what Macydo is all about and your why. Your why, the importance of having the baby right there.
Right. For me, it's more like it's calling from God. Something that the Lord asked me to do. So I know most people are like, but that's the honest truth. I'm not gonna lie and tell you that. Oh no, I just thought of it and all of that. No, for me, it's something the Lord put in my spirit to start. And I started in 2018 when I was still in South Africa. And then 2020, I had to come back to Zimbabwe when my sister was getting married. If you still remember, 2020 is the year of lockdowns.
A whole lot of things.
Exactly. So I was in South Africa and my sister was getting married, so I had to come back. So when I came back, it was like, planning on coming back for like 3 weeks, and then you go back and all of that. And then it so happened that lockdown happened when I was still here. So I couldn't leave the country.
Right.
Until my visa expired, right? That's when I realized, no. The Lord was like, Vimbai, you're actually not meant to be in South Africa. Because I was like, I started this thing in South Africa, so it's supposed to be in South Africa, not in Zimbabwe, and then bring it to Zimbabwe when it like matures and all of that. And the Lord was like, no, you're being in the opposite direction. You're supposed to be here. It's not by mistake that you're here at this time. So I had to now start working on it on this side. I have a very big passion for young people. And see, through this vision that God planted in me, to understanding what young people means to God, right? And understanding that everything that young people show you, what young people manifest out of them, it has been planted by somebody. Right. I remember when I had this vision, I was driving, right, and the Lord showed me a plain ground, like a very plain ground with nothing. And the Lord said, Vimbai, this is what young people look like, children look like. They're a plain ground. So whatever grows in that field, right, it's been planted by somebody. Whether you see grass, whether you see maize growing, good fruits and all of that, it has been planted by somebody. So what you then see when a child grows, it's something that has been planted in them. When they start misbehaving, it's because someone planted those ideas in them. When they start acting amazingly, right, when they are great kids and all of that, it's because somebody planted that in them, right? So when we look at our generation right now, when we see young people who are graduates, for example, in Zimbabwe, crying and complaining for jobs. And I'm not saying that they shouldn't. It's a very important need that's there. But I feel like there's a way we can be addressed. But it's because someone has planted that idea in them that, you know what, you just need to get a degree and look for a job. So their mind is only set on that. They don't have other things that they can think of above that. So that's where the Lord was trying to show me, like, through this organization, it's about changing the mindset of young people, changing what has been planted in them. We're in a generation where, the slay queen tendency is like thriving so much, right? Why? Because of what has been planted in young girls. And they think being a slay queen is better than anything else. We in this generation where young men want to be mbingas. If you're in Zimbabwe, like want to be mbinga, right? And not be a leader, because mbinga is not a leader. Right, they want to be mbingas because of what has been planted in their minds is when they see them mbingas doing whatever they are doing, flashing money and all of that. But they have to be, their mindset has to be changed so that they can be leaders instead. Right, so that's what we try to do with the organization: change the mindset of young people so that they focus on the right things that they're supposed to focus on. And at the end of the day, it'll help in the development of the country, the development of the economy, and Africa as a whole.
Right. This is quite interesting and has opened up another can of worms, which I will try and make the can of worms a little whole, not the whole can. I totally get and understand. Like, I love your vision. I love your goal. I wish, I wish it were, honestly, I actually think the younger generation has kind of got it to a certain extent. There's a certain percentage that has kind of got it. But then again, because of situations, because of what's happening, like in the country, like you said, some people end up saying, oh, yeah, Witambinga is the thing now, or, being a slave queen or whatever. But there's one thing that you said that's really important: what's been ingrained in the youth, right? Don't you think that we have to start with the ingrainers? Right, the people that enable those ideas, those thoughts, because keep in mind, it's our generation that's trying to challenge the status quo. It's because we were raised to have a job, have benefits, have a retirement plan, and then you die and life happens. So I feel like, how then do we address it as well to the enablers more than anything?
Yeah, that's very true, but that saying that says you cannot teach an old dog new tricks. So
Perfect.
it's a bit of a bigger challenge dealing with the older generation, right? To then enforce this to younger generation. There's a lot who needs to be done, but at least the younger generation, there's still room for you to plant the right ideas in them and all of that. Not that we're saying that we have to neglect older ones. We still have to talk to. We still have to have that conversation. And this is the part of the conversation we're going to have with the captains of industry and the government at the conference, opening that platform to have that conversation, especially in the private sector when it comes to businesses, right? Because young people are getting into that sector as well. They have to learn. It is so unfortunate that in Zimbabwe, I will have to say this, but almost 70% of the leaders in the commercial world, right, are more of mafias and gangsters than they are actual leaders, corporate leaders. You get it? They are more of the ones. Yes, we still have people that still have dignity. We still have people that are still good leaders in the corporate world, but it's not all of them. You see that we have young ladies that when they want to make it in the society, right, they have to sleep with somebody.
Sleep your way.
And you know what? Most of we have the sad part of it is that most of the time we've looked at it at the side of the young girl. Oh no, she's sleeping around. What about that man, that old man? Are you even thinking that if for that girl to have slept with that man would have said, "Yeah, come sleep with me."
Exactly.
Why would not on that man, that old man wants to sleep with a girl who is as young as his own daughter.
Right.
But it's also saying that
gosh.
you to open this opportunity, for me to give you this opportunity, you have to sleep with me. You
Right.
get it?
Yeah.
That's the generation we're talking about. A generation that has oh my goodness, this actually gets me very emotional.
No, trust me. It's we're fighting for the same cause. Trust me. Like, I totally get you. It gets because we always see the wrong side. I mean, like the one side, if I should put it that way, instead of seeing the bigger wrong side.
You see, exactly. And then we have young men that have now been influenced that being Mbinga is better because Mbinga is actually, and the sad thing is that they actually chase after them, calling them names. Oh, Mbinga, so that they at least have food on their table.
Oh, shame.
You get money to you get it. So that's the generation we will be looking at trying to fight for our young people to have a chance. Because now they'll be looking at them and like, do I have a chance? You know what? I'm just going to be following Mbinga. That's how I'm going to make it in this industry.
Right.
We even have young girls who have family to fend, and they're like, you know what else can I do? I have a dream, vision. I have degrees.
I know.
I have degrees. I've worked so hard, but it doesn't mean it looks like in Zimbabwe your degree doesn't work. I have to sleep with somebody. I have to sell my body to somebody. For me, it's so those are the things that we're fighting as a nation. And I thank God we still have people that are still the captains of industries, that are still there, that are still mentors, good mentors, that are still they still have integrity and their dignity as well as some government officials that are like that. We thank God for that. But those other ones, the other, what we call the rotten apples, right? They'll end up affecting the rest.
No,
So
I
those
totally agree with you. And I just hope, I think for me, honestly, my fight is fighting not fighting, let me not use the term fighting, but at least educating the older generation, where I totally get the part where you say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Definitely you cannot, but then you get those enablers who are strong-willed, in the sense here we are ndino badara your school fees. So you're gonna have to go and do A, B, C, D. But if somebody was created to be a businesswoman, to be an entrepreneur, they have a dream and a vision. You understand? How do we fight for that dream? And I hope those are some of the topics that you're gonna have to discuss or be discussing at the conference. How do you fight for your dream when you have, an authoritative figure in your life trying to tell you to go the other way? And, your authoritative figure, there's no way you could afford God to tell you to stay in Zim, unfortunately. But but then there's other people, right, who we have our parents who we have to listen to, because even the Bible says we need to honor our parents, right? So I hope these are discussions, ongoing discussions, that are going to be, not only for the dreamer, but as well as, the older generation to also understand the dreamer's dream.
That's very true. That's very true. That conversation has to be had as well.
Right. I want
older generation.
Guys.
No, but you're right. This is a conversation that we have to have with the older generation. So because that's the other thing that puts pressure on the young person. It's putting pressure in them. It's something that we've done with the organization is try also to protect young people from that, right? As well, because the conversation might take 10 years. Trying to have that conversation might take long, and you would have lost a generation, right? As well, a younger generation in that process as well. So what we also have tried to do is try to work with young people while they're still studying, while they're still in school.
Absolutely.
So that they can start experimenting on their entrepreneurial side, innovative side, or not wait until they are done. Because the minute you're done, your parent will tell you, you're supposed to look for a job.
Good point.
And then minute you say, like, I'm trying to chase my dream. I'm trying to do this and do that. They'll just look at you like, you paid your fees. All that money that I spent, you get it. You're producing results. So as we try to have the conversation with them, we also try to also make sure that the young generation is also protected from that as well, by giving them that opportunity. Because when you're still studying, the parents, what they only look for is you look out for is your results at the end of the semester. Absolutely. They don't care what else you are doing, right? Exactly. So the nice thing about university is that there is some time, there's like some free time you can squeeze in. I remember how flexible my university timetable was. So free times, that's when you then squeeze in. Like if in Zimbabwe you're 4 years of university, so you can squeeze in some time for some trainings in innovation, in entrepreneurship. As they do, by the time they get to their third year, they have to already have started experimenting on something, right? And they're to see, does it really work? And then by the time they graduate, right, it won't be, I'm trying to start. They'll be like, I've already started. You just didn't know about it.
Exactly.
But this is what I'm doing.
All you have to do is just catch up.
So if I don't get a job, I'm already onto something. So
right.
To do that. But that conversation, like you mentioned, it's very, very, very important. So that, and you know what? It's also, we have to also understand where the older generation is coming from. We can't just erase and say, oh no, they're not understanding. They are understanding, but we have to understand where they are coming from. They're coming from a generation where you had to have a good education and get a job. So that's what's in their mind. So it's now changing that to say, you know what? We're now in a new generation, right? There are new challenges that we're facing. They have to be tackled in a different way, right? It's not just about getting a job, because jobs are not available. We have to create jobs, and creating jobs is not going to happen overnight.
Absolutely.
It's a process. and their
Right.
support is very much needed. So having that conversation and understanding is very important. And also talking to the young people that, when they talk about this conversation, even with their parents or with their authoritative figures, right? They shouldn't go about it being, because we have a generation that's a bit what's the word? That can be a bit rude, if that makes sense, right? And pompous, right?
Pompous,
When
yeah.
yes, like, yeah, I'm an entrepreneur, so I'm trying to do this. No, you don't. You don't. They're not going to
That's
understand
true.
you get it, because they don't understand me. They don't get me.
They don't
Don't
get
get
me.
because you're not delivering the message correctly.
Right.
That's why they
Yeah.
don't get you. Give them the message properly. Yes,
Right.
some might not get it, but at least you've delivered the message to them properly. They'll get
Properly.
to understand as you go. Yes, but don't just go, because now it will be a fight of the giants. Like trying to be, pompous, and they're trying to, be like, hey, I'm
Understand.
the man of the house, or I'm the woman of the house here. So
Exactly. Oh my
our
God.
generation even needs to learn how to communicate with
That
the
is
older
it.
generation. Yes.
No, that is so awesome. And I know we'll get there. Eventually we will. And I know, even the older generation, slowly but surely, they're understanding the younger generation's visions and stuff like that. It's only a matter of support and just, like you said, find a nice way to explain to the older generation what the new age is, right? The way the future is going. So for those who are actually tuning in or joining us right now, we are actually hanging out today with the CEO of My Africa Child and Youth Development Organization. And we are actually getting into what's going to be happening this coming weekend but at first we're trying to understand what Macydo, which I just decided to call it Macydo, is all about. And then we can get into our event today. So well done though on the amazing work thus far with Macydo. And so what keeps you motivated and going as an individual, seeing that you thought your dream was in South Africa and then now you're in Zimbabwe, and then you're like, okay, how do I go about it? And then what keeps you motivated being in a country where you also mentioned, Kuti, jobs are scarce? How did you have to create your own NGO? How was the support system and all that fun stuff? How has it been so far, and how do you stay motivated?
Well, like I mentioned earlier on, this vision is not my own vision. This is God's vision for the nation. So that keeps me motivated. So even when I have had moments where I'll be like, no, I don't want to do this anymore. I quit. But I'm encouraged in the Lord. I'm encouraged through the Word of God. In prayer and all that. That keeps me going. Right, because like you said, Zimbabwe is a very interesting economy. It's a very interesting country to start something. But it's the Lord that has kept me, strong and courageous in doing what I'm doing right now. And I thank God that He blessed me with an amazing mother who
Oh,
is
nice.
very supportive. And,
Nice.
to me, it's a blessing. That's God's grace, because like we were just discussing, some young people don't have that privilege and an opportunity to have a supporting parent. I have a very supportive mother that she could have said, Vimbai, I sent you to South Africa to study. You have 2 degrees. You're coming to waste time doing this and this. Because it's not like I started and then boom, it was going up, right? There was so many challenges. Even till now, you face some couple of challenges there and there, right? But she's like my number one supporter in
Yeah.
everything. My family, they always have my back, supporting me, everything that I do and all of that. So I truly, truly thank God for that. And that's something that I also pray for other young people, that their parents are also understanding. Maybe they have this understanding, because that's one thing that has also pushed me to continue doing what I remember was it last year where last year was a bit of an interesting year for organization. And
I can
I,
imagine.
oh my goodness. And I almost lost, I lost. I was like, you know what, I quit. I'm done. I don't want to
Oh
do this.
no.
My whole family came at me and they were like, quit you for what? Please, you can take a break, but you're not quitting. If you quit, what's going to happen? If you quit, who's going to be hosting of those conferences? If you
Oh
quit,
no.
you it. And they would say like some funny things like, where are we going to dress up going to conferences if you quit? Who's going to be doing that? You get it, but it's so like
Hey,
very
girl, if you've
supportive.
seen the interviews before, me, I don't wear a blazer to do interviews on After 5 Radio. Me, I just wear a blazer because we're talking about the conference. I am dressed up. Hey, girl, I just thought I should let you know. So those who actually watch all the time, like our interviews, they'll tell you, I don't wear a blazer when I'm on radio, but today I was like, you know what, this is for me. Bye. Just so
Oh
you
wow.
know.
Then I come wearing like a t-shirt, but it's what t-shirts I'm allowed. Yeah. So
Wow.
yeah, that's
Shout
something
out
that
to your
has like
family.
really kept me having such a very supportive family, and also the grace of God that I've been able to meet very supportive people in the industry as well, captains of industry, from government officials, and some people in the private sector that have been very, very much supportive, and I truly thank God for that. That I have that, but I do not want it to just end with me. I want that door that has been opened for me to be open to every young person, to have such accesses without going through selling your soul
I
in the
know.
process, and all. So that's why I keep on advocating for this, because I it shouldn't just be, oh, I prayed so hard and God answered our prayers a long time ago. You
That's
know,
it.
prayers were answered. So there are people that are there leading that have manipulated what God has given them to be leaders, right? To people that, my praise then for young people to have access the same way I did. In a good way, where you don't have to sell your soul and all of that. Because I keep on hearing stories of young girls saying, oh, for me to make it, I had to do this. People that are open up to you.
Wow.
I had to do this. I had to do that. I had to do this. But I thank God for His grace for that. And yeah, we keep pushing in Zimbabwe. There's still a lot to do, but it's our country. It's our country at the end of the day, and we are the ones that can build this country. Nobody else. Do not wait for a stranger to do it. We are the light of the nation. So we have to light it up. I love Isaiah 60. It says, arise and shine, for your light has come. So we have to shine, the world. And there's a part, then he says that darkness covers the earth, thick darkness is over the people. So yes, there is darkness, there are terrible times, there are terrible things that are happening, but this is the time where we're supposed to shine. This is the time where we have to make impact in our nations, do exploits for the Lord, and empower young people, change their mindsets, and even the young people, for them to start shining at this in time, and fight the barriers that are there. Yeah.
Right. Oh, wow. This is amazing. And I look forward to, Macydo growing and seeing what else it's yet to do. So express your excitement for the inaugural Zimbabwe Youth Trade Fair and
Oh my goodness.
with literally less than a week left, yo. Less than a week left. How do you feel? Are you ready? Like, oh my gosh. I can imagine hosting an event is not easy, especially a big one like this. And with all the, big names out there and, government officials and all that fun stuff.
I'm so excited. I am I'm so excited about it. But I'll really express how I feel like maybe soon after the conference, because right now the focus is on just getting there. It's been a lot of work, but the focus is on actually getting there. And
Right.
so excited the fact that, thank God for the opportunity that is given me, that I am actually I realize I'm the first young person to bring Vusi Thembekwayo to Zimbabwe.
Yo, I will tell you, when I saw that poster, I was like, huh? Right. And then I also saw the people lined up, but we'll get into that one. It's there in the questions. Don't worry, we'll get it. How did she do it? How did she do it? Having him as the keynote speaker.
And it can only be the grace of God, to be honest. That's the answer I can only give people, because it was like, even me, at some point, I'm like, wait, Vimbai, this is actually happening.
Yeah. And believe it is. It is actually happening.
exactly. There we have it.
There we have it. I'm trying to figure out how this is done so that we don't, I don't know. Okay, let's just put it there. There we have it, I guess. I don't know how I can put it on the side, but yeah, I was like, what? How did she do it? Nah, good for you, girl. Good for you.
Yes.
I'm excited for you.
People like Kensha, Mushwanza, Mudiwa, Sitelo, amazing captains of industry, and you have the young people that are doing exceptionally well in Zimbabwe.
Right.
Aaron Chiza, Ethan Moyo, Paula, Wanashi. Paula and Tipuanishi, like, and Ethan, very young people below the age of 30, but they're doing amazing work in Zim. Despite the whole challenges that are there and everything. And we also have Nati O, an amazing artist. I think he is one. For me, he is a leader of youth in the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
Even when you listen to his music, it's so empowering and strengthening for the young people as well. And we have Ruven Neko, an amazing moderator.
Yeah.
Miss Shingi as well, coming all the way from the UK. Just for this conference. It's quite amazing. And like I mentioned, we have the Honorable Vice President Kimbo Mohadi as well, who will be there as a guest honor. So yeah. it's quite big.
This is quite
only be the grace of God. Yeah. And we were expecting about 2,000 guests for this conference. So, yeah.
When were you planning for it, and how did we get to 2,000 being a number? And are we getting there?
All I can tell you is that there's something. My sister always says this. Yes, my God does not flop. Right? He doesn't wear flip-flops.
Okay. Oh, he don't wear flip-flops, of course.
He doesn't wear flip-flops, so he only do big things. He walks in high heels because he only moves to the top level.
Oh, wow. That's an interesting one. That is actually an interesting one.
For me, it's been God, and funding, it's not something that you can easily get. I can tell you that God has been my sufficiency. Been my provider for everything. Even when I got the go-ahead to run with this vision, particularly, I'm like, this is going to be very big. Am I ready for this? And the Lord said, run with it, go for it. And you'd be thinking, okay, I'm going to get sponsorship, I'm going to get funding. It's been one of the most difficult things to get in Zimbabwe.
I can imagine. Yeah.
It really has been.
Oh, okay. But look at you. You're still doing it. Like nothing is stopping you. And I hope that should actually encourage the youth, right? Regardless of not having funding, you can still figure it out, because as an NGO, also like not-for-profit organizations, there's always, some organizations who are willing to say, you know what, we're here, we're backing you up however way they can, right? And you can still go on and do the event.
Yeah, in Zimbabwe, they're quick to sponsor things like your entertainment industry.
Entertainment is being sponsored now, like really well?
Oh, really well, really well. You see a lot of companies they'll go all out to sponsor the entertainment industry. They bring a new entertainer, that they can definitely sponsor. But something like this, it's still a bit of a challenge to actually get people to say, come invest in this. We're investing in the in all of that. And we also saw with young people, I think planning this conference has also opened my eyes in understanding young people as well. Because at first when we like said we bring in Vusi, you'd think people are gonna jump like, oh, we coming, Vusi and all of that. But it wasn't everybody that was like jumping up and down to say that, oh, we coming, right? And then I tried to understand, what is it? Does it mean like young people are unfocused in everything? And then you realize, no, it's not that. It's because we're in a generation where a lot of young people have lost hope in being educated, right? Most of them have degrees. We have more than 6,000 young people graduating from one university this year, right? One university. That means we have a lot of universities, right?
Wow.
And those are young people that are looking for jobs after went through school and everything, and they start they have kind of lost hope, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
no opportunities for me. So when you bring something like this, they'll be like, it's just hearing people telling me, this and this. Then already they'll be like, you know what? Why should I spend money on this when I can just spend money to go and see Caspar investors coming to Zimbabwe, nasty sea, because that's going to bring me some sort of instant gratification, that instant enjoyment. But then a conference is going to be told, go and start a business and all of that in a very difficult land. And then I have to, if I'm a lady, I have to go through this and this and this for me to do it, and that's another, those are other shattered hopes and dreams and all of that. So there's a lot that we need to work on in Zimbabwe for our young people. But we know by the grace of God, it is time. The time is now, and the Lord is doing a good thing in the country. So the Lord says that we should do it. We should do it. So that's what I'm running with. And I know it's a lot of young people, their mindset will be changed through this conference as well. Yeah.
So you mentioned something really interesting to say, not a lot of people would be wowed by, like, as for me, I was wowed by it because I listen to, Vusi a lot. I follow his encouragement and stuff like that. So for like the younger generation or, those that do not know who Vusi is, do you mind just giving a glimpse of why he's going to be the keynote speaker, why he's a wow to people like you, me, and some other people who actually follow and understand his leadership style?
All right. So Vusi, apart from being a speaker, an amazing internationally recognized speaker, an entrepreneur himself as well with experience, he also has an amazing story to tell because he did not just start as being Vusi, right? He has an amazing journey that he went through. And I think we have had so many stories from our own local people. So what I said is, I think we need to hear it from someone from outside, sharing that they have been through the journey, and how they overcame it. Someone who sits on so many boards, international boards, not just in South Africa, internationally as well, and very young as well, doing amazing things. So that's why I said I need him to be a keynote speaker, because not just is he a good person when it comes to speaking or in entrepreneurship and an investor, but he's also someone who has a story to tell, an amazing story to tell that can motivate young people, someone from outside. Because sometimes, you just need to hear it from the outside to catch the message, because sometimes you be too familiar with your own people. I think your mic is on mute.
Actually, I think it was on mute. I always make that mistake. And I actually totally agree. I was saying I actually totally agree with you that might actually encourage somebody to say, you know what, if he can do it, then I can do it. Right. And that has been also something that a lot of people may not even have, as a support system in their lives. Like, you're fortunate enough to have family who encourage you when you say, I need a bowl. You understand? And they remind you of your why. Because some people may say, it is what it is. I don't see any, any change or anything, any potential really within the country. So what's the point? But then if you hear it from somebody with a story, you're like, what is my story or what is my excuse? Right? Yes. Because I find there's some people who say, nini, ndiri at this age and whatever. And I'm thinking,
exactly.
You understand? So I'm so, I am proud of what you're doing and, the keynote speaker that you've brought. And we just hope the youth will be encouraged. So where do people get the tickets? How much are the tickets? Something that the people may not know, or, since what's at 6 days to go before the event, after hearing this, where can they get the tickets?
All right, so the tickets are available. If you're in Harare, they're available at HICC. At the foyer, you'll find the tickets there, or at our offices at number 7 Bates Avenue, Newton Park. So that's where you find the tickets. Or if you want to contact us directly, maybe you're out of Harare and you're trying to find another way of making payments, you can contact us on 0772 805 468 or on 0777 136 850, and we'll be able to assist you. Yeah, so
Right.
that you can get the tickets. And I am so happy that we also got an amazing person who sponsored tickets for students.
Oh,
That
wow.
yes, and they we have so when I said 2,000, right, the other 1,000 is already like done, because those are like students that are
Wow.
coming, sponsored tickets. Someone who was like, you know what, let young people benefit from this. They need it. So when I
Mm.
put my money, I'm putting my money so that they can be able to attend this. So that,
Wow.
yes, that has been amazing. So we still have like, yeah, some tickets that are still available for the rest.
Right. And that is awesome. So Majinzwiramega, guys, for you to get your tickets, you can go to their offices at 7 Bait Avenue, Milton Park, or the easiest, Rainbow Towers Hotel, HICC for you, where the event is going to be. Just go there and you can get yourself a ticket. And, shout out to the sponsors because, that's exactly what we're looking for, especially if we want to educate the younger generation, or give back more than anything, how best to help. And this is one way to do it. So is there any dress code for our youth, like, okay, do you end up fake my ripped jeans GG because we're getting into summer, or just saying? So this is the youth we're talking about. Any dress code?
Um, yes, definitely. It's a business conference.
Like, ripped jeans, what?
Yeah. All I had to say was dress how you want to be addressed, because we are, as a generation, we are trying to be taken seriously, right?
Mm,
So you better look serious so that
mm,
you're taken seriously. If we're going to have a conversation with the older generation, we have to show them that we're mature enough to have that conversation. And it starts with how you dress. It's unfortunate that we also live in a generation where I do not know where these ideologies are coming from. Like, you do what you want, be however you want to be, dress however you want. Well, you have those privileges to do that, but what happens after you do it? I'm
mm.
sorry, you have to, be able to
No,
grasp it, because you
I've
can't
seen
force someone.
our new, pastors who maybe they're being encouraged by these pastors. Eh? When you see American pastors wearing, because like the American culture is always exporting their culture everywhere
Yep,
internationally,
that's
right?
very
And
true.
then
Yeah.
everybody's like, "Oh yeah, just be you. I'm just being authentic." But like you said, dress how you want to be dressed.
Yes, dress how you, because you can dress how you want and people will address you how you want. You get
Exactly.
it. You can't expect people to address you seriously and take you seriously, like as an entrepreneur, when you come wearing ripped jeans and flops and a t-shirt. They're
Mm,
just gonna look at you like, okay, that's what you want. So we don't want to associate with that, you know. But
mm,
if you're dressed properly in your formal, you're looking
mm,
nice, even as a
mm.
lady, dressed properly, you're not, you know, um distributing or parading like
Or
your,
parading
your
some stuff that
husbands and
needs to
all
be
of that.
covered.
You get it, right? Or also address you with that respect as well.
Mm,
You want to have a conversation and all of that. And especially for this conference, there's going to be an opportunity to network, right?
mm,
You do not want, imagine, I just said there'll be 2,000 people that are there,
mm,
and almost everyone wants to talk to, let's say, okay, let me even not put Vusitembe Kwayo. Let's say Dr. Chamuchuanza, right?
mm,
Everyone
mm,
wants to get an opportunity to talk to him, for example,
mm,
even Sitelo, right? What makes you stand out? And what
mm,
makes you stand out is not about you, it's about them.
mm,
Get it? It's about how they see you. It's not about how you look. It's about how they see you.
mm,
So when you're
mm,
dressed nice, it'll catch their attention. So by the time you get to them, you're like, "Hi, Miss Sitelo. My name is Vimbai Butawo. I'm CEO of Macydo. I'd like to
mm,
share my business card with you." She's already curious. Who's this person? You get it?
mm,
Dressed very nice. I might not
mm,
even have an organization that's big, but they're
mm,
already curious. You get it? So I've already sparked that conversation with them, even in their unconscious mind. But
mm.
if I come wearing ripped jeans and they're like, "Hi, Mr. Taylor, I'm CEO," they'll just look at me like, "Oh, okay, nice to meet you," and then look at the other side, they forget about me. I don't think they even want to see me.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, yes. So people have to remove the mindset that has been enforced now about the whole, "Oh, it's about me." I know it's about where you want to go in the future, how people should see you,
Exactly.
how people see you. So dress how you want to be addressed, I'm not going to tell you what you should wear, but how you want to be addressed. If we
That's
see
it.
you, we just know this is how you want to be addressed, and we'll address you accordingly on the day.
No, that's actually a good one, and I will keep that with me. That's a good one. Dress how you want to be addressed, but I will be sharing that as a nugget. And okay, of course, we'll give credit to Miss Vimbai Butawo. So don't worry, we'll give credit with you. So is this like the beginning of the trade fair and conference, or is it just like a one-time thing? Because I also noticed, like on your socials, last year you also hosted like a young entrepreneurs other event. Is this going to be like an annual trade fair, a youth trade fair and conference, or it changes every year? Like,
Oh, no, it doesn't change. Well,
yeah.
this is, like you said, it's the inaugural, so it's going to be happening every year.
Okay.
Now I'm giving you inside information.
What's
So
that?
I was saying that now I'm giving you inside information.
Yes. Well, that's the point. That's my job. My job is to be inquisitive and get a lot out of you that I can.
Wonderful. Yeah, so it's going to be an annual thing. From this year, we're going to be doing this every year for the young people. Like you said, we have had some conferences before for entrepreneurs and all of that, but those ones we're focusing mainly on the ones that have already started, the startups and the upstarts as well, right? But this one now, we want to also get into the young people as well. So we're going to be doing this annually, as well as the other conferences that you saw that we'll be doing like mid-year annually as well for the startups and the upstarts. And then we have this one for all the youth at the end of the year, every single year.
Oh, we love
From
that.
next year, we'll be looking at 2 conferences every year.
Whoa, guys. Panapa ndo patinochi where Angie dress how you want to be addressed. Me, I'm already dressed and I'm ready. I am campaigning in public.
We love it.
There you go. I'm one of those who campaigns in public. So I waiting to be addressed, to be addressed, to be dressing how I want to be addressed.
How you want to be addressed, yes.
Exactly. And also claiming what I will be there next year.
Definitely.
I will actually be there next year.
Yes.
I will come to one next year. So last but not least, as we conclude today's interview, thank you so much, Vimbai, for coming through, telling us what Macydo, my Macydo, is all is all about, and you know what to expect next week at the conference. Last but not least, what's your favorite way of unwinding after, say, maybe definitely this conference, but on everything that you do, because it's especially having to deal and encourage young people to be their best version. Like, how do you unwind from all of that?
Oh, I love to sleep.
You love to sleep. Actually, rest is important. Rest is very important. You get to do that.
Yes, we get to get so busy and then you forget to rest. I like to rest. I like to eat and watch something, either a message from my pastor, Pastor Chris Oyakilome, or if I'm not doing that, I'm just watch a movie or something that's relaxing.
Right.
Especially like
say these days. No, it's sleep is actually important. That's the one thing that I also have learned to do so as part of my self-care, where I'm like, when I am so exhausted, it's like, yeah, you're allowed to sleep, you're allowed to rest, you're allowed to say, I am taking a step back. But bravo to you for recognizing that sooner than before you burn out.
Yeah.
But anyway, thank you so much once again for coming through. We wish you all the best on the upcoming conference. And, we look forward to many more of these conferences. And I hope this one is a success.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
No.
About sleep, it's 7 a.m. this side. I think I'm going to take maybe a 1 hour. And it's a Saturday. I'm going to take a 1 hour, 2 hour nap.
Exactly. I didn't wait for your interview anymore, or was it moved?
No, we ended up having the interview yesterday.
Oh, good for yes. There you go. Good for you.
I was like, oh yay! So now my Saturday I can still have like because today Saturday I can start work at 9 o'clock. So I can
Right.
sleep again for like until 8:30, and then get up and then
There you
back
go.
to
We
work.
need to rest. We need our rest, our beauty sleep,
We
because
really
this
do.
week
We
is
really
going to
do.
be hectic doing my last minute touch ups, my 1 week touch ups, and stuff like that. But thank you
Exactly.
so much. And to all the viewers, thank you so much for tuning in and watching. If you were actually part of our interview, I saw. Actually, I saw, who did I see who left a comment? Oh yeah, Russ Simbi, who's based in Edmonton, Alberta. Andizweni ayewa sharp tinokutendai. Anzichi I cannot zenyu zenyu, although I can but
Thank you.
no, but thank you so much for coming through, guys. So please do go to the all roads to the HICC, guys, to get your tickets and to also attend the conference. And shout out to all the sponsors that managed to help out with this event, the panelists, the hosts, the every dignitary that's going to be there. And to Miss Vimbai, salute to you and thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All righty. Take care and God bless you.
Thank you. God bless you too.
All right. Bye now.